Today we're looking at more legacy band cards and how powerful they are. I'm going to rate them between being really powerful and not so powerful. And we are now starting today off with a big juicy one, Oko, Thief of Crowns. Arguably the most powerful fair card in all of Magic the Gathering. It has been determined that Oko, Thief of Crowns is the most powerful planeswalker in the multiverse. As of today. Blue, green, 1 generic for a 4 loyalty Oko Planeswalker, plus 2 create a food token. So virtually, this card starts at 6 loyalty. Plus 1 target artifact or creature, either or, loses all abilities and becomes a green elk creature with base power and toughness 3/3. And -5, exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or later. Oh, hold on. Are we listening? We are not listening to the music. You need music, people. All right, the music's here. Now we got music. Now we can enjoy the show. This card rendered all other creatures completely useless, effectively. This card just turned everything into complete trash. So no matter what you played, it was a 3/3 creature. If you played a 5/5 creature, it was a 3/3 creature. If you played an 8/8 creature, it was a 3/3 creature. And it can create an entire elk army by itself. Do not underestimate the elk army. Those 3/3s will beat up on your 3/3s. You see, you have a limited number of 3/3s that can be on the battlefield. Oko, Thief of Crowns makes a food token, makes a 3/3 after that. And that sounds not so crazy, right? Like, it doesn't sound insanely powerful, but it just overwhelmed everyone and anyone that would try to compete with this strategy. Oko wouldn't be such a problem if the +2 was +1 and the +1 was a -1. Oh yeah, the abilities were completely bonkers. I mean, the loyalty abilities were completely crazy. Now, I mean, from what I understand, when they were playtesting Oko, apparently they had an exchange ability and it was too strong, and they made some last second changes to the card that made it what it was now with not enough playtesting, and it just went out. They just said, print it, let's just print this thing, and they can steal your they could steal your 3/3s, or you just exchange exchange control of target artifact or creature you control, or you could just give them your 3/3 and you take something else. Very rarely did I see this -5 ever being used. On the Oko mirror, oh god. Let's just make tons of food tokens, tons of 3/3s. There would just be a huge army of elks on the battlefield. This was undoubtedly actually one of the most powerful cards in the game. It forced anyone who played blue to splash green. Actually, this is more for modern than legacy, but anyone who is playing green to also splash blue. So very easily, legacy was running a lot of Okos. Took over the format. If you're a Delver player, oh my god, were you happy about this card? Amazing card. So yeah, this was ridiculously broken. Too powerful. Alright, what do we got next on this list? Ooh, a pretty fresh one. Pretty fresh card. Ragavan, Nimble Pilfer for red. We got a 2/1 Monkey Pirate. Deals combat damage to player. Create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. And of course, it has dash for a red and 1 generic. So you just sweep it in there, get in that damage, get that token. And in a world, so Ragavan was just put in the Delver decks. Simple as that. Just replace Delver. Who needs Delver when we have a 2/1 creature that creates Lotus Petals and gets free cards off of our opponent's library? Not to mention, there's a ton of decks in the format that are decks that use islands. So, I mean, you steal their Ponders, their Brainstorms, steal whatever you want off the top. And not to mention the treasure, the treasures would help you cast any of the other colors. The stupid monkey. Exactly. Yeah, this is now Modern Horizons talking. The Modern Horizons are now talking. Someone please go back in time and kill whoever designed Ragavan before they commit this crime again. Go back in time. Prevent the Ragavan from ever coming into existence. I don't really have a whole lot to say. The deal is this. The Delver-esque decks, playing with 4 Ponder, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Days, 4 Force of Will. They're very sensitive to going over the top. The shell is already very, very good. So if you improve the creatures by any means, which they have in recent history between Dragon Rage Chandler, Murktide, and then Ragavan, if you just improve the creatures by just the smallest amount, the entire deck goes bonkers. A lot of people are calling for the banning of Days. If they ban Days, then it'd be easier to kill Ragavans when they actually tap out. Because the Delver deck, they never exactly ever tap out, do they? They always have a spell up their sleeve, whether it be Force of Will or Days. So they're never tapped out, even when you think they are tapped out. This isn't Pauper here. This is Legacy. So anyway, Ragavan, way too good in that deck. And it got the axe. It got chopped down. Is it powerful? Yeah! I would say it is powerful. Wojtek says, is this an early stream one-off? No, this is called Daylight Savings Time. Daylight Savings Time. So whatever is now for you, that's the new normal for until the next Daylight Savings Time. Until you guys have Daylight Savings Time. The Ragavan Power Creep. It's legendary, so I suppose technically it's less broken than it could have been. Oh yeah, that's how they balance these 1 mana 2/1 creatures that create card advantage and create mana advantage. And you don't want, those are like some things you don't want to give the Delver deck. Like the whole thing about being Delver is being mana efficient. Like you don't want to give them more mana to play Brainstorms and Ponders and Lightning Bolts and Unholy Heats. And another thing is, you know, they already have just enough card advantage to stay ahead of you and close out the game. The fact that they're going to steal your cards is going to put them way ahead. Way ahead. I mean, this is why they banned, what was it, Dreadhorde Arcanist? This is exactly why they banned Dreadhorde Oh, I can't find Dreadhorde. There we go. This is exactly why they banned Dreadhorde Arcanist. That was too much value. Way too much value. It's just constantly casting your Ponders and Brainstorms from the graveyard. So they can't have this thing. We can't have toys like this in Legacy. It's too much. I would be interested to know how good would this card be if you banned like Force of Will and Days. Now a lot of people are coming after Days' head because of how well it protects stuff like this on the early portions of the game. Force Will, maybe people are less likely to go after because everyone's like, we're all in agreement that Force of Will is like the glue to Legacy. Maybe less of a glue because now we have more options, but still a glue. A glue is still a glue. Ultra, do you think Ragavan will stay in Modern because it's already banned in Legacy? That is not the fact that a card is banned in another format is not a reason to keep it legal in another. So that does not protect it. I think Ragavan is one of those cards. I think it's fair in Modern. I more or less it's pretty fair. Like every deck has removal. It's a very heavy removal based format, but and Legacy is not. There's less removal in Legacy than there is in Modern, so it's kept way more in check in Modern, even though it's a super, super powerful card. I think we're going to probably have Ragavan around for a very long time, for many years to come, especially since there's so many other busted cards in the format. Michael says, knock on wood, if I could live in a country with monkeys, I would try to get one like I have a cat. Are you sure? They're going to steal stuff from you all the time. You gotta keep everything like sealed in the fridge. You can't leave any food out. So I'm sure that's just how it is. Are we an hour early today? Oh my god, this is the Daylight Savings Time stream. It's the Daylight Savings Time stream. DRC is almost better than Ragamuffin in Modern. Yeah, arguably so. So is Ragavan powerful? Well, creates mana advantage, which is powerful. Creates card advantage, which is powerful. Gets underneath a lot of counter. Well, I don't want to say gets on. It's turn one play that spirals out of control. So yes, absolutely, Ragavan is super, super powerful, outrageously powerful. This definitely deserves being banned. All right, next card on the list. The list. A card that is good. It's very, very good. Powerful is arguable. We got Sensei's Dividing Top for 1 mana. The Commander staple. Banned in Legacy. But why? Artifact. Pay 1. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. Then you can tap, draw a card, and put Sensei's Divining Top on top of its owner's library. This was the Miracles card, which worked with, what was it called? Terminus? So the cards that comboed with this were Terminus and Entreat the Angels. The Angels. So that's how Sensei's Divining Top worked in Legacy. And it was a damn good card. Like, you constantly look at the top 3 cards of your library, and with fetch lands, you get to fetch them away. So essentially, you know, you always have, like, something pretty good coming out on top. You can't dodge it. You can't dodge the gas. So those Blue-White Miracle decks were, like, really, really good. But was it ban-worthy? Like, is it super powerful? Now, I will say the Miracles decks were at the top of the, like, metagame. If I recall correctly. Maybe I'm not remembering this correctly, but, like, Miracles was, like, one of, like, the top 4-ish decks. Maybe it was top 3, maybe top 2. Maybe it was the best one? I don't remember. But it was definitely one of the best decks in the format at the time. Top is straight up annoying to play and play against, not too powerful. Top gets better the longer the game goes, so not great in short games, says Bobby. Well, I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, this is part of a control deck, so they want to stretch the game out for as long as possible, right? Shamma says, I love Top. It's one of my favorite cards. Correction, it's a reusable, easily splashable brainstorm. Well, it's not very splashable. There's no other deck that played this card except the Miracles decks, right? It's just nobody else played it. Because it's still mana intensive. You still got to use a lot of mana, but it was worth it in those Miracle decks. Worth it to make their land drops, to find the sweepers, to find the key cards, for find the right answer to the problem on the battlefield. But it mainly got banned because the games took forever. And not to mention, if you lost as a Miracles player, sorry, not lost, if you got a draw as a Miracles player, then you were in the draw bracket hell, because you're just going to be playing against other Miracles decks, and you'll always go to time. Like, it's guaranteed you'll go to time if you're in a Miracles mirror. It's not like one side's going to aggro out the other side. The whole game just revolves around winning game 1 and then going to time in game 2 and preventing your opponent from making another draw and just try to win off of that one win you got. Yeah, made the tournaments go on forever. I think I could get an official statement on this. Sensei's Divining Top banned Legacy. It was in a very, very, very good deck. April 24, 2017. Has it been that long? Has it really been that long? I don't take my cookies. I want to keep my cookies. Sensei Divine Top is banned. In Legacy, Miracles, a deck that is focusing on comboing. Oh, I forgot about counterbalance too. How can I forget It's the whole point of it. Okay, Sensei's Divine Top to control what opponents can or mostly cannot resolve has been the best deck in the format for some time. We were hopeful that this would change over time, but it has not. This alone is not necessarily enough to ban a card from the deck, but Sensei's Divine Top comes with its own host of issues that center around a timely conclusion of matches in a tournament setting. So it'd always go to time. I mean, you know, if they said time in the round and there was still a round going, it was always a Miracles deck. The necessity of repeated top activations to play the card slows match play down and leads to tournament delays, coupled with the power of the Miracles deck. This is enough reason for us to take action on Top. Therefore, Sensei Divine Top is banned in Legacy. So it is a good card. It's a good card, but it's not that powerful. I mean, it's just really good manipulation. But in my opinion, what slammed the ban hammer on this card, I should say it is a powerful card. It is a good card, all right. It needs the right build, but it is powerful. It ended up getting banned also because it was just draining the time of the tournament. Made the tournaments go on forever. Oh, by the way, Goblin Trashmaster, just publicly, like Goblin Trashmasters, the podcast, they gave me this custom Curse Catcher art here. So thanks for sending that to me through my P.O. Box. And if you want to send me, if anyone else wants to send me stuff through I got a P.O. Box over here. P.O. Box 34085, Fort Richmond, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3T525. All right, we're done with that. And so yeah, is Sensei Divine Top powerful? it's a good card, but I don't think it's one of the most powerful cards to be banned. In my opinion. In my opinion. Could be more powerful. Alright, it's time to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. What is the deal of the week this week? Because there's always a new deal of the week. You always gotta check out what the new deal is going on at FusionGamingOnline.com, but this is the first place I go to buy my singles, whether it be from Phyrexia, All Will Be One, or March of the Machines. If I need cards for Legacy, because they just banned one of my cards and I need a new one, I'm gonna go to Fusion Gaming Online first. And don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases, and it also lets them know I sent you there, so it supports the channel. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Don't forget the Mana Traders League every single month. It's a free roll tournament with $10,000 of prizes on the line. You can get the full value of that if you're a Mana Traders member. Why would you want to be a Mana Traders member and rent cards online? Because it's cheaper if you play a lot of decks. Instead of selling your deck and buying a new one, you're just renting it over and over again. For a monthly subscription price, you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_3RS. Alright, let's look at more powerful cards. Or ideally powerful cards. I could accept the countertop lock, but the miracles were what made them awful. I hate Terminus so much. Oh, yes. So did I. Because you sometimes got something underneath them, right? You got something underneath, or got something through that stupid counterbalance. But then they just shut all your dreams away by Terminusing it all away. Today I learned that there isn't one single daylight savings time for every country. I can't believe I never thought. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? So stupid. Counter-off decks would make the games go on for, yeah, every game. Alright, what is the next card on this ban list? Maybe a card that needs no explanation. Shahrazad! Did they even need... Did they... I guess they needed to make this one. This is a real card. White. Okay, what? Players play a Magic sub-game using their libraries as their decks. Each player who doesn't win the sub-game loses half their life, rounded up. Yeah, I don't know. Did anyone ever play with this card? You know, we make fun of Shahrazad millions of times, but I'm sure there are people who played this card. And what was the point? They lose half their life total, half their life rounded up. Is there any good strategic reason to play this card? Or is this just like some sort of hedge? I'm trying to think, like, who would want to use this? Maybe a burn deck? Maybe a Boros burn deck could play this. And if they play it early enough and they try to... Maybe this is good in burn. Maybe this is good in burn. Right? Like, if you win... They lose half their life. I mean, this could be a 2-mana, 10 damage spell. And what do they care if they lose half their life? Like, it's meaningless to them. Because they're a burn deck. They're just all in on burn. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Shahrazad, win by timeout. I kept it because I love the card art. Never played with it. Yeah. Didn't she get, like, her own... Didn't she appear in another card later on? Yet another card that's... Oh man, this is the ultimate slow game down card. Also super annoying if you copy it with spells. There's no other card that will slow the game down more than this. You're literally playing another Magic the Gathering game for almost nothing. For no reason. If you win that... There should just be, like, I don't know, a friendly player agreement that if whoever wins the Shahrazad game is like... That counts as part of the match. Yes, burn. I think this would be a burn card. In a weird way. She was in the Mirror Universe. Ah. She made a return. Michael's like, ship it. Oh yeah, make Shahra burn a thing. No one feels the burn until you got Shahra burn. Oh god! No, you can't do that. Isochron Scepter is instance, isn't it? It's instance only. Shahrazad is sorcery. Anyway, not a powerful card. Just an annoying card. For practical tournament reasons, Shahrazad is banned. basically. Burn would require some ramp now? I don't think so. You just play Boros Burn. Just try to get 2 plateaus in play. That's all you have to do. She looks like a bird maiden as well. I don't know what a bird maiden is. Ah, yes, the Panoptic Mirror. That's probably what you need. Radiate it. Play another Shahrazad in the sub-game so you get a sub-game. Yep, it's like Inception. You must go deeper. So you can have like 4 sub-games? Oh, sorry, 3 sub-games. No, 4 sub-games. 4 Shahrazad, so you can get a total of 5 games in. But unless your opponent plays another Shahrazad. Imagine time is called... Imagine time is called in the round. The judge comes over and asks, what game is this? Well, this is sub-game 4 of game 1. And they're like, oh, God. Just pack it up, people. Just call it a draw. And, like... What if they use sudden death rules? Like, you lose based on your life total. Do they count your, like, life total from game 1? Because I don't know if anyone is familiar with sudden death rules. Some sudden death rules say whoever has the higher life total wins the game. And if life totals are the same, then whatever life total changes first loses. Or sometimes if whoever then has a higher life total wins. It all depends, but I wonder what life total they would opt to keep track of. The OG life total or one of the sub-game life totals? What if time gets called? Do you call the sub-game? Do you call... Yeah, exactly. I mean, on the score sheet, they're only going to count the first game, right? Yeah, Magicception. We must go deeper. Must go deeper. Joel says you can use a wish spell to get Shahrazad into the sub-game. Oh my god! So we can have 3, each player can have 3 Shahrazad main deck, and then 4 wishes to go get 1 extra Shahrazad. How does this work? No, I guess each wish just represents 1 Shahrazad, right? I don't know how to use it again. Have the imprinted Shahrazad in the main game and scepter the blue fork. Sudden Death Rules introduce a state-based effect that says if you don't have the highest life total, you lose the game. Win the sub-game and your opponent's sub-game life total is halved. Old boy says, not really. The cards from the original game are still in the game, not the side. Yeah, well, hold on. No, you can still wish for 1, but then it'll be stuck in 1 sub-game, and you won't be able to go get it from the sideboard. So you still only have access to 4 Shahrazad. You need to... I don't know how you repeat the effect. So, anyway, okay, so Shahrazad, not a powerful card. This actually, is not powerful at all. It will, okay, it's powerful in the sense that it will make you it will annoy your opponent to no end. And annoy the tournament officials. But it's actually a very, very docile card. It's harmless. Wouldn't want to see it in a Commander game, though. Is it legal in Commander, by the way? It is not legal in... It's, one of the few cards that's banned everywhere. Very, very few cards have this. Banned Legacy, Vintage, and Commander. Shahrazad has that honor. Congratulations, Shahrazad. $560 card, too. Okay, Skull Clamp. Ugly picture. I want the other picture. Let's get a better picture of Skull Clamp. I don't think it made some new pictures. I want the OG. Okay, 1-mana artifact. An equipment. Equipped creature gets +1, -1. How weird that stupid -1 ended up making this card broken. When equipped creature is put into a graveyard, draw 2 cards. That's a lot of cards! So this, on the surface, looks like, you know, a nothing card. It's like 1 mana, you gotta equip it for 1, like, whatever, makes your creature weaker. If you kill your creature, you don't want that to happen, do you? Well, yes, you do. Turns out that paying 1 mana repeatedly to draw 2 cards, it's danger! Just says GSC. So this is one of the most powerful card draw engines in Magic the Gathering. I honestly don't know what they would draw in Legacy. Like, what tokens would they kill and eat up? I don't know the token combo that they would utilize. Yeah, reusable, pay 1, sack a creature, draw 2 cards. It is quite good. Or would you just put, or could you just throw this in like a Delver deck? Play Delver, Skull Clamp. I don't think that's how they would use it though. For as long as I've been playing Legacy, this card has never existed. So I don't know the full potential of what this card would do. Or how it got banned. Or did they even give it a chance? No glimpse for Elves and Legacy? Oh, you think they would just use Skull Clamp? That's actually interesting. Make a lot of mana, keep killing your creatures, keep drawing cards, but then keep regurgitating Elves on the battlefield. Yeah, that's a pretty good place for this card. Maybe Thopter Foundry, like maybe. I think that combo is like really clunky, but maybe that would be fine. In 2023, isn't this? No, this is not too slow at all. It's literally 1 mana to cast. It's 1 mana to activate. You just start chewing up your own creatures. I don't think you can use tokens. Of course you can use tokens, just like the Thopter Foundry combo that was mentioned earlier. I just don't know what the right shell is for this deck. Maybe it's Elves. Make a lot of mana with Elves. Kill your own Elves to get more Elves. You just basically sack your Elves for more cards. Seems fair to me. You could use, oh yeah, you could use it with Young Pyromancer. That's actually a good point. Although I think Young Pyromancer has been pushed out of Legacy, but maybe it would come back just for Skull Clamp. Bitter Blossom, you're thinking too small. Bitter Blossom sucks. It's one of the worst cards. One of the most it's probably the most overrated card in my opinion in all of Magic the Gathering. Goblin, maybe Goblins. All of a sudden, I thought this might go in like a Delver deck, and it turns out maybe this is the most broken card in some sort of fair creature-based deck. Tokens do go to the graveyard, then exile? No, tokens go into... They don't exile, they just go into the abyss. They go to purgatory, as far as I know. Tokens touch the graveyard long enough to trigger. Oh, you guys dispute it? Yeah, tokens go to the graveyard. Just once they touch the graveyard, they just go poof! They're gone. So, if you want to know how that works, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, whenever equipped creatures put into a graveyard, draw 2 cards. Tokens technically go to the graveyard. Based on the rules. If you think it's stupid, well, I didn't make the rules, alright? That's just the rules are the rules. Nothing makes sense in this game. Just gotta know. I thought they graze the graveyard? They graze the graveyard before they go to the Oblivion. Christopher B says, thus ain't Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, they do. They go to another zone for a moment, then state-based effects, delete them. There we go, exactly. Yeah, they go to the graveyard, so tokens are all fair game with Skull Clamp. Drago Smash! At La Plani to get 2 cards and a bigger body from your deck. The hell is that? Putting Skull Clamp in my zombie and goblin decks now. Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I have no doubt that this card is super powerful and deserves to be super banned. I just don't know exactly what the best shell would be. Maybe everyone would play it. Everyone has a Skull Clamp. Even the Delver decks would play this damn thing. Sounds counterintuitive, but I'll take it if it's the rule. Yeah, the rules are the rule. Look, Arethusa. Welcome to Magic the Gathering, where nothing is intuitive. Nothing makes sense. How is it that I can attack a player or planeswalker, but I can't attack a creature? For some reason, the creatures aren't even allowed to attack each other. The only time that they can combat each other is when I'm blocking. That makes no sense. Herbert says maybe this would go in Knits Fits. Maybe Herbert. Thanks for the $2. Alright, we're going to move on to the next big bad boy here. Oh god, this card. The card that I don't think Commander players appreciate enough. Being so broken. Soul Ring. Don't talk about banning or taking away their Soul Ring. And not that I want to. But Soul Ring is one of these cards that is so outrageously powerful. Such a staple of Commander. People just take it as a given, like this is just a fair card. It's not a fair card! And for that reason, it is hard banned in Legacy. 1 mana to add 2 mana? What are you, nuts? So you immediately can just, like, play more stuff after you've played this card. Just play Soul Ring, then play more Mana Rocks. You could play another Soul Ring. You could play Soul Ring into Soul Ring. Flonino, thank you very much for the super chat. My Legacy Goblins deck missed Goblin Recruiter so much. Yeah. We talk about Goblin Recruiter in another episode. I use Crypt anyway. I know you could use... You could play a ball! Imagine completely unhinged no-ban Legacy. Except for... Imagine no-ban Legacy, but they banned the Power 9. Like, that's the only banned cards. That would make for an interesting format. Everyone would be playing Mana Vaults, Mana Crypts, Soul Rings. Not broken enough for having just one copy. Feels like a Mox that we all get to... It is a Mox! It is super... It's a super Mox. It's a reusable... It might as well be Black Lotus as far as I'm concerned. Joe Haggis. Commander players are very aware of how powerful Soul Ring is. I don't think so. Not based on my comment section. Let's say some Commander players are aware of how powerful Soul Ring is. It's fair in Commander because everyone has access to it. It's not like Mana Crypt that costs $175. So you're saying Mana Crypt is not fair just because it's expensive. We have different ideas of what's fair. I think the fact that everyone gets to use a Soul Ring does not make it a fair card. It's a very powerful card. Very, very, very powerful. It does not bring the power level down. It's just that everyone at least can be at the same power level. And people say Provoke has no application. Steven says, I'm going to make a Shahrazad deck. Doubt I spelled it correctly. Nope, but good luck with that. Sadie says, number 10 of the Power 9. You know what? I bet this would be in the Power 9. If they made a Power 9 to... I mean, is it like, for example... Okay, what would I want to kick out? I think this is better than Time Twister. I think this is better than Time Twister. I don't even know why Time Twister is even in the Power 9. It's like not really that much different from Wheel of Fortune or like many other types of wheel-like cards. There's only one type of Soul Ring. And it's very similar to the Moxen. If you ask me, in my opinion. I really think so. Who else thinks that this is more powerful than some Power 9 cards? Time Twister sucks. Soul Ring could replace Time Walk? Yeah, Time Walk, like, there's a lot of Time Walk replacements as well. Soul Ring is easily Power 10. Shamus with the super chat, thank you very much. Survival of the Fittest, easy, oh god. We talked about that one, we're going in alphabetical order, by the way. For anyone who didn't know, we're just going slowly in alphabetical order. Probably we'll get through the last of these cards today. Hot takes here. Energy Flux shuts it down. Well, everyone shuts something down. We have Time Twister in Modern. We do. We have tons of Time Twister-like cards, right? Time Twister before Time Walk. Nathan, a little late to the stream. If sudden death hit a stack of the sub-games with Shahrazad, the current sub-game would end, and the life lost from losing the sub-game would just kill the player. A lot of people are still in the Shahrazad area of the stream. Okay, King Ginger's like, no way. Moxes are free land drops on turn 1, and they produce colors, and not even close. This adds 2 mana. And unlike Black Lotus, which you have to pop and never use again, you can use this over and over again. This is mana ramp. It's a very similar mana ramp. Like, all the Moxen are free land drops. This will get you to 4 mana faster than the Moxen. The only reason it's not Power 9 is it was an uncommon in Alpha. Probably also because I don't think people could appreciate how good Soul Ring was back then. Just like how they couldn't really appreciate the power at that time. I would also admit Time Twister at the time was more unique. Was it? They had Wheel of Fortune back then. How is Time Twister in the Power 9? Wheel of Fortune got kicked out. I guess Ancestral Recall and you could only, I guess Time Twister just squeezed in there at number 9. Ancestral Recall and Time Walk and the Mox and Black Lotus took up the binder page. Have you ever done a power 9 of creatures, enchantments, and planes? Oh, no, you know, we haven't done that one. Maybe that's a good idea, Chris. I like that idea. It's a great idea. We've done power 9 of a bunch of other stuff, like power 9 of Legacy, which I guess was just the power. But we took out the power, the OG power 9 just to make it interesting. So yeah, we should do something like that. Sol Ring is better than all the Moxen aside from Mox Sapphire. This is a weird take. I think the Moxen are better than Sol Ring, but I think Sol Ring is better than Black Lotus. Black Lotus is like good in only combo decks, which does make it like situationally better, but I think Sol Ring is the overall better card. Like, what do you prefer? Like, Commander players, what do you prefer? Sol Ring or Jeweled Lotus? Which one gets you more excited in your opening hand? Commander players, what do you think? Jeweled Lotus? You like seeing this in your opening hand, or you want to see this in your opening hand? Which one? Which is better? Bobby says Sol Ring. Michael says Sol Ring tap for tomb of any color would be power 9. Well, it'd be super power 9. So people, Abzo says Black Lotus. We're not talking about Black Lotus. I'm talking Jewel Lotus. Jewel Lotus, because this is the greatest comparison. Or Sol Ring. So we got like Sol Ring. We have a Lotus. Both can have both. Sol Ring. Sol Ring. Jeweled Lotus gets more excited. So we got a Sol Ring from Thomas. Jeweled Lotus is poo poo. Depending on the commander, if I play Urza, give me the Lotus over the ring any day. Sol Ring. Why, just he's gonna play turn 1 Urza versus turn 2 Urza? Compare Ancient Tomb to Island. Sol Ring is better than Sapphire for the same reason. There we go! Well, I don't know. Sapphire is still pretty good. I just want to make a comparison to Jeweled Lotus versus, like, Black Lotus versus Sol Ring. I think Sol Ring is comparable. Comparable, if not better, power to Black Lotus. But Black Lotus is better in a combo deck that, like, needs to, like, win turn 1. But otherwise, I think you want the extra mana. I think some pros made mention of this in Cube. They'd rather pick Sol Ring over Black Lotus in Cube just because Sol Ring is a repeatable source of mana. And in Cube, it really sucks when you sack your Black Lotus to play a card and then they answer it. They just 2-for-1 you, for crying out loud. Is Sol Ring better than Mana Crypt? I think is the better. I think Mana Crypt is better. I think, well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get. Did we do that one? QRS, Liminal P, QRS, TV. Okay, sorry. We probably did Mana Crypt before. Where's the M's? Yeah, we went through the M's already. Okay, so if we went through the M's already, Mana Crypt. There we go. Even better than Sol Ring. We gotta update the Power 9. Maybe Mana Crypt is even better than the Moxen. Probably way better than the Moxen. How can you argue with this? 0 mana for 2 colorless. I guess in the right deck. I guess I mean, I can't use Mana Crypt in my Merfolk deck. It's just very, very hard to use. Okay, nah, Sapphire casts all your other broken blue cards like Ancestral. Maybe in Modern Era, Sol Ring is better though. Okay, never put a Sol Ring in your cube unless you're playing a fully powered cube. No, well, of course. It's all about the power cube. I can't play cube unless it's power cube. I can't stand it. Bobby says, I play mono white with a lot of white pips and card costs, and I still play Sol Ring. There we go. Bobby, who plays a high devotion deck, still on the Sol Ring train. Sol Ring works better at more copies. What's better, Mana Crypt or Mana Vault? Mana Crypt. You just repeatedly use it over and over again. Levy! Thanks so much for the super chat. In the beta draft, would you take Lotus or Sol Ring? If I want money, I'm gonna take the Lotus. Probably Sol Ring is better though in draft. That's what I'm getting at. Probably Sol Ring is the better repeatable source of mana. And also in beta, like the good cards, you only get reach to the good cards start at like 4 or 5 mana. So you'd love to play your 5 drops over and over again. Whereas with Black Lotus, you'd only be able to spew out a 5-drop once on turn 2. Then if it gets answered, you're screwed. But I mean, of course, if for money, choose the Lotus. Oh, an Adamant Stream. Best cards with 3 or more colored pips. Oh. Figure that out. Alright, Soul Ring. Easily. One of the most powerful cards. Maybe the most powerful card on this list today. Maybe the most powerful card. Next, one of my favorites. Strip Mine. I love lands. I love lands with unique abilities, especially ones that add mana. And this one destroys target land. It's wasteland for including basics. This was the most unhinged. Why did they even make this card? I guess it was to keep, like, Mishra's factory in check. Because I think the original one came from, the OG came from Antiquities, right? And, I think Mishra's workshop also comes from Antiquities. So... Or I'm getting that right, or was this in response to where's workshop from? Yeah, it came from Antiquities. So this was an Antiquities card. So they printed the answer to the problem. They already knew the card was a problem, so they printed the answer. But the problem is, this is like when you bring in the snakes to deal with the mice. Now you have a snake problem. Or the snakes eat, I guess the snakes eat everything else in your household. Strip Mine was made to counter Library of Alexandria. Oh yeah, they made a lot of awesome lands back then. That was crazy stuff. Oh, is that part of history? They specifically made this card to beat Library of Alexandria? I could totally see that as well. Another beautiful land. Oh, this one was from Arabian Nights. So Arabian Nights came out first. And then decided, this card's too good. We need an answer to this card. Everyone needs an answer to this card. Not everyone can play with Sinkhole and Stone Rain at the time. Oh yeah, and they printed Tron. Did they print Tron? Was this the old... Tron came from Antiquities. Antiquities was a beautiful land set. Very beautiful. Plus Strip Mine is good flavor for Brothers War. This is OP, but at least it countered Tolarian Academy Guys Crit. Well, those are cards of the future. Strip Mine also hit the Tron lands, which were in Antiquities. They were like, all right, we're making a land that can blow anything up. Here's a question: if it didn't add mana, is this card fair? No, it can't be. It's because then it's just no. But you don't get a land drop. It's probably still not fair. It's probably a 0 mana, like it's still a 0 mana destroy any land, which is not fair. Yeah, it's just not gonna be fair. There's no way to make this card fair. Never gonna happen. Oh yeah, there's also Bizarre Baghdad, but I think Bizarre Baghdad sucked back then. Actually, I don't know. I don't know how people use that card. What was it, like draw 2, discard 3? Maybe people still use that thing. I don't know where though. Graveyard Synergy was back then when things went to the graveyard, it was gone. They ain't coming back. I mean, I guess there were some reanimator strategies back then. Very few though. Bizarre was completely alright. Type 1.5 card before Ravnica. Yeah, before the Dredgers. Before Richard Garfield made Dredge. He was on that design team. I don't know if he actually created Dredge, but it would not surprise me. I heard somewhere that people say Wasteland is a removal spell that takes your land drop. I feel the same way would apply to Strip Mine. Yeah, but the deal is, strategically you could play around Wasteland by going to get some basics. Whereas Strip Mine, there is no way to play around this card, and it will just blow up whatever the hell you have. So Wasteland is... I like Wasteland, honestly. I like Wasteland. I think it's a nicely designed card. And it's not completely OP because you can look for those basics, and you're not vulnerable to Wasteland anymore. But Strip Mine, you have no room to play around that at all. So anyway, Strip Mine powerful? Absolutely! Super powerful. Never take it off the ban list. Wow, I am just slow. So we're gonna have one more episode of banned legacy cards because I can't get through these so quickly. Okay, what the hell is going on over here? Survival of the Fittest. A green 1 generic enchantment. Green, discard a creature card, search your library for a creature card, reveal that card, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Basically look for whatever the hell you want. What would play this card right now? Discard a creature card. It's probably you could discard something that maybe you could reanimate, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand. I'm not even familiar, like it's completely legal in Vintage. Are there survival decks there? What is the way to break this card? Survival of the Fittest plus Recurring Nightmare for Mega Reanimation Fund. But like, what's the way to win big time? Dredge Vine? Is that how you break it? You put the dredgers in the graveyard and go get some more dredgers? I guess what you could do is like discard, you could go get Street Wraith. Discard Dredger, go get Street Wraith. Pay life with Street Wraith. Draw cards. Do this as many times as you can. Oh yeah, would that work? Could I keep discard for every green? I go look for a Street Wraith. Vengevine Gate. Hollow one. I think you guys are thinking too small. I don't know what the full potential of this card is, but I'm sure there is one. Hollow one, Vengevine is the best combo. Really? Is that really the best we can do? Can anyone use it? No, it's your enchantment. You would have to say, like, anyone can use this card. Prize of yeah, like, Prize of Malcolm would work. But I think you're thinking too small. Like, that is, like, turn 2, you play Survival. Turn 3, you put that Amalgam in the graveyard. I think this is not that great. Like, what is the way to really break this card in half? This card is a tutor for Dredge and Reanimator. Like, I could see the Reanimator thing. I could also see the Dredge thing. So it's like a sweet... So you still have you just have a regular Dredge deck. And then, but do they really need this card? Like, Dredge is super consistent as it is right now. Use this tutor your best Stompy Boys in Commander. Oh yeah, of course. Herbert with a super chat. Thanks so much. Basilic's Root Walla plus Vengevine. Oh yeah, so you can play the Root Walla for free because that has Madness for 0. Like, I don't know how you break this card. Hollow one Vengevine Survival is good enough for Vintage. It would be good enough for Legacy. Oh, really? Survival of the Fittest Vintage MTG. Give me a deck. Okay, we got an MTG Goldfish article here from 2018, so that's recent enough for me. If it was broken back then, probably it's still okay. Broken now. Does this really work? Manglehorn. It got a 5-0 in a league. Not impressive in my opinion. But is this like a staple? Does it really have a staple? Like is this a staple deck of Vintage? Somehow I don't believe it. However many green you have, you get that many Vengevines, -1, but also you get a free Hollow one. Okay, okay. That makes some sense. Yeah, discard a card. Oh yeah, so you discard, 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 and then try to play 2 creatures and then swamp them. Okay. And you have just a normal Vengevine Hollow one deck otherwise. And it's one of those cards like Birthing Pod that gets better every set as creatures are printed. Okay. Use with the Void Wing Hybrid, then proliferate? What the hell? What, in Legacy? Is that even practical? What the hell is this? Void Wing Hybrid. Black, blue, 2/1, Phyrexian Bat, Flying Toxic. When you proliferate, return Void Wing Hybrid from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, yeah. Okay, MTG TV says this card is completely broken. It was traditionally used in conjunction with Reoccurring Nightmare and a bunch of creatures with ETBs. It was banned in old standard in the old standard environment around 97 or so. Yeah, but I never like to go back to say, oh, it was so powerful in standard, because it's completely meaningless by today's power level. See, that's the whole point, is like, what does this card do today? Can you completely overpower people? This is 2 mana, do nothing. All right, so it only starts getting the ball rolling by turn 3. And by turn 3, you might be dead to some other combo deck, you know? Sneak and Show is like, it laughs at you, this card. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? Like, what is the most damage you can do on turn 2? You can discard Vengevine. If you have 3 mana up, discard Vengevine to go get Hollow 1, play a random creature and Hollow 1, and then... Can you even play? No, you have to pay 1 mana, I think, for the Hollow 1. Yeah, I'm getting, like, it's not that broken right now, even if you built a whole deck around it. And even then, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, and you're no more powerful than a regular graveyard deck, right? Like, you're no more powerful. But this could see an unban. It doesn't seem any more powerful than Sneak and Show. No, I don't think it's more powerful than Sneak and Show at all. Is this more broken than Fauna Shaman? No! And Fauna Shaman, well, the thing is, Fauna Shaman, I guess that's what it is, right? Like, Fauna Shaman is the same creature. And Fauna Shaman is not broken. Discard a creature card. Search your library for a creature card revealed between your hand, then shuffle your library. Because, well, it's partially not broken because it just dies. But the payoff isn't even there when she lives. Like, we don't see tons of these Fauna Shaman decks propped up over every single... Like, they just put this card in... Did they just print this card in Standard? Is this a standard? It's a legal card in Standard. Hold on, let's get back here. Look, this card is now legal in Standard. It's legal everywhere. Because the effect really isn't that good. In my opinion. Oh yeah, it is true. Fauna Shaman is only 1 per turn, and she dies. Okay, that's good. It's good. Good analysis. I'll agree. She does tap. You only get 1. But I still don't think it is as... Okay, Survival of the Fittest is above and beyond a better Fauna Shaman. Not arguing that. I still don't think this ability is strong enough by today's standards. And he even let me buy a giant growth for what? I don't know where that came from. Well, it's only good in Legacy when comboed in a turn 1 combo to put like, okay, but here's a question. How do you combo off on turn 1? See, that's my argument here. Like, how do you... If you could break this card by turn 2, I'd agree. This card looks pretty broken. But by the look of this thing, I can't use this thing by turn 2. I mean, I guess we could ramp. What, like turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Survival of the Fittest, discard something? But I don't see how we can break this. Lotus Petals? You might as well be playing a Storm deck at that point, right? 4 Lotuses in hand. And the Soul Lands. We can't use the Soul Lands very well, because you have to... This is a very highly green intensive green mana card. Elvish Spirit Guide? Oh, that's possible. And you can discard the... It actually has good synergy, because you can discard the Elvish Spirit Guides for other cards. Okay, Sunpleb says it's crazy consistent. Alright, I'm going to assume this card's broken. You guys think? What do you guys think? Is Survival of the Fittest is broken? I hate cards that are on the ban list that used to be broken like 15 years ago, and people still think it's broken by today's standards, when really the game has completely changed, and we have so many answers to stuff like this. Think of all the graveyard hate cards we have today compared to 13 years ago. It's like, nah, it's not even the same game. All those graveyard strategies were like completely broken and unhinged, and there were no answers. Now we have every answer to the moon. So anyway, I don't think this card is nearly as bonkers as it was before. But still probably can be pretty good. I could be totally wrong on this card. I'll admit, hey, tutoring over and over and over and over and over again every turn, not to be underestimated. Not to be underestimated. Oh, this is a cute card. This next one. Time Vault. I want the OG Time Vault. Let's look at an OG Time Vault. Let's read it. Tap to gain an additional turn after the current one. Time Vault doesn't untap normally during untap phase. To untap it, semicolon. To untap it, colon, you must skip a turn. Time Vault begins tapped. Hilarious card. Anyway, so it's a card that enters the battlefield tapped, and it doesn't untap during your untap step unless you want to skip a turn. But if you can get Time Vault untapped, then you just tap it and take an extra turn after this one. So, keep Time Vault banned. I wonder how is this considered power? Maybe not. Like it's a lot. It takes. It's not a lot of work, but it's still really broken. You have to take a little bit of work to untap Time Vault. You got to put like, I don't know, Voltaic Key and stuff like that in your deck. What's the better Voltaic Key? I just have, my mind is just stuck in the OG untapper. What's the new Cura's Follower? Yeah, that's one way to untap your Time Vault. There's a better Voltaic Key though. Manifold Key, yeah, Manifold Key. This is the, I think, strictly better Voltaic Key. Strictly better, right? 1 mana, tap, untap another target artifact, pay 3, tap, target creature can't be blocked this turn. I think it's strictly better. Yeah, this is just 1 mana, tap, untap, target artifact. Manifold Key. Manifold Key. Manifold Key. This is the key. The key to everything. Particularly the key to untapping your Time Vault. Wait, can't you use Survival of the Fittest as many times as you have mana or creatures for? It's super broken if you can spam out token creatures. But how are you spamming out token creatures? You gotta realize you have to set that up, right? I don't know how you're creating token creatures out of that. Turtle Commander that has everything come into play tapped or untapped depending on its status. Oh, I've never heard of that. Yeah, that's interesting. Turtle Commander. Everything comes into play tapped. Imagine skipping your next turn unless unbanned. Yeah, like, I don't see any purpose for this thing. I will skip my next turn so that I could have 2 turns after that. That seems pretty crappy. I don't know if this saw play back then. I wasn't there. Anyway, okay. So anyway, is this broken by today's standards? Absolutely. 2 mana, repeatable Time Walk for eternity. Like at the easiest turn 2 combos of all time. It's gone. Alright, we got our next contestant. Time Walk. Time Walk. 1 blue, 1 generic. Take an extra turn after this one. I'm just wondering, why is this banned in Commander? Like, this feels very comparable to a lot of other Time Walk cards. Like, it's the best, sure, but there's a lot of broken cards in Commander. Would anyone feel fine about this thing being unbanned? Or is this just gonna stay banned in Commander because people just hate Time Walk cards, period? Like, if you, like, from my experience of playing Time Walk in, like, Cube sucks. It's like, it's okay, like, you'll take it. But it's only good very, like, late in the game. It's, like better later on the game. If you play it early in the game, it's like an Explore. You draw a card, you get an extra land drop, not much changed. You get it later in the game, it's really strong. It's a price issue. So is Time Twister! Would anyone want Commander to change the rules? If the card is like over $2,000, it gets banned. All right, Commander. We had a Commander whatever meeting. So and so card is now over $2,000, so it's banned. That'd be an interesting way to keep cards in check. Cards can't go over $2,000. When the price of a card approaches like $2,000, that's when like people will be very hesitant to buy it, because if they buy it around that moment, it's going to get banned, and then it'll push it below the $2,000 level. Yes, Commander price limit. This is from a time when the game didn't know anything. Oh yeah, for sure. Money bans are great, and you think to CMC Time Walk is a good thing for Commander. Okay, Time Walk is way better in Commander than 1v1 formats. Take an extra turn when you have 4 players is just better. Well, taking an extra turn no matter what is just better. Then they can't argue they control the secondary market. Well, they don't control the secondary market. Like, the market controls the secondary market. It's just the secondary market might control the ban list to some degree. So someone, in theory, could buy out a card, push the card above its price threshold, and then artificially ban it. Okay, Garfield knew this was OP, but he didn't imagine players would buy so much. They'd have a deck of all OP cards. Also, they didn't imagine Magic the Gathering would get to the point that it is right now, where it had communities and tournaments and balancing issues. They didn't care about this back then. No matter what Wizards says about them controlling the market, it is a monopoly, even if they effed it up, so to speak. I mean, we have Healing Salve and Ancestral Recall in the same cycle back then. Yeah. Well, even by today's standards, the cycles aren't equal. They almost never are, even by today's standards. There's always, like maybe 1 or 2 good cards in a cycle, and the rest are poop. So, like, the cycles are never fair. Never have been. Unless they're lands. And everyone gets the cycle. Everyone gets to come into play untapped fast. The internet was still barely a figment of imagination for people. Yeah. Oh, and Nikachu's face to the comment that was... What? Huh? Bread, Power Floor, 2 mana, draw, 1 ceiling, 2 mana, win the game. That's how it was back then. Okay, what's the most balanced cycles where everything is good? I don't think they're... lands, basically. In my opinion. That's the most balanced cycle. Nor should they be. It needs to ebb and flow to get people playing outside their preferences. Alright, anyway, I'm not going to debate that Pine Walk is just unbelievably good. It is, it's a super explorer. You get extra untapped steps, you get extra everything off of this card, so leave it banned. Super powerful card. You get extra attacks, untapped steps, get to play extra things, and it just gets way better the later the game goes. Alright, well that's it for Coffee and MTG today. Thank you very much for joining me. If you want to be part of the show, make sure you are here Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Check your time zones, people. Check the time zones, because, you know, daylight savings time is screwing people up. We're also going to thank everyone for your super chats and everyone who's a member on YouTube, but also a patron on Patreon. If you want to support the channel, become part of the Coffee Crew, make sure you can check those links in the description below. But most importantly, got to thank all of you for being here this morning. Oh, thanks for the super chat at the end there. Sugarcane. I think the OG Praetor cycle was all good. All right. But I got to thank everyone for being here. People like Sugarcane, Poxy, Michael, PM, Tommy, another Michael, Bread, Samurai, Pedgeman, Levy, Old Boy, your little Ted. Thank you very much for being here this morning, because without you guys, I got no show. You guys are the show. So as usual, keep brewing up them coffees, Coffee Crew. And we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see